VIBErations podcast, episode 52, Ed Salter. Hi, I'm Gary Brightman, and this is my periodic podcast called VIBErations. Established in 2018, Vibe is a book and music shop situated in Mui Wo on Lantau Island in Hong Kong. So, my last podcast was only a week ago, but this week I wanted to fit in a special edition interview. On Sunday, the 24th of November, Vibe will once again provide the DJing for the now annual gig Lantau Live, held near Treasure Island by Poyo Beach from 11am until 9pm. Vibe DJs will include Salman Rushdie, Eclectic Selector, Matt the Hat, and Gazim. That might be me. Tickets are available on Ticketflap, so be sure to get them now to avoid disappointment. You can go to lantaulive.com or Instagram and Facebook at Lantau Live to find out more. Edward Salter is, amongst many other things, the organiser of Lantau Live. His musical journey began at the tender age of 5 in Kent in the UK. Growing up surrounded by music, he started with the piano and later studied the saxophone during his secondary school years. His passion for music led him to the University of Hull, where he studied music at the scenic Scarborough campus. After university, Ed answered the call of adventure, taking on various live musical gigs in China, the Middle East, and ultimately settling in Hong Kong in 2012. In this vibrant city, he dedicated himself to teaching music and drama, establishing an Extra-Curricular Activities (ECA) programme with schools in the new territories. In addition to his musical pursuits, Ed harbours a deep passion for graphic design and web development. During the COVID pandemic, he made a significant transition into the world of software and web development, blending his artistic sensibilities with technology. Today, Ed continues to inspire students and innovate within the worlds of music and technology. Welcome to Vibe, Ed. Do you have a favourite book or author?
So that's a good question, Gary. I'm not a massive reader, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I like reading articles, catching up on news, but to be honest, I think fond memories of reading when I was younger, probably The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, that trilogy.
Yeah.
Just anything that was sort of fictional, fantasy, anything like that I used to enjoy reading when I was younger.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, this is going to be a hard question for you, I'm sure. Favourite musical artists? Right.
Difficult question, yes. I grew up listening to Motown music. My dad used to listen to a lot of Motown music.
Yeah.
And, amongst other things, including Black Sabbath and rock as well. So a real mixture from my dad. But yeah, I used to love listening to Stevie Wonder when he used to play that. So I still listen to Stevie Wonder. I've played in a few bands that we cover him as well.
Yeah.
So really enjoy Stevie Wonder. My first cassette when I was growing up was Jamiroquai.
Okay.
And that was from my older brother, bought that for me, so really like the sort of funk vibes, disco-y kind of thing. And Red Hot Chili Peppers as well were one of mine. Yeah, I had Blood Sugar Sex Magic was one of my first albums. I loved that. I absolutely loved it when I was growing up. And then Queen as well, really got me into Queen the last sort of 10 years and working with the Rockstars band, we cover
you do cover a few things.
And I just loved that, real operatic, proud, loud music and really intricate work. So definitely Queen's got to be one of my favourite bands.
Yeah, and mine as well, since mid-70s. Big Queen fan. Okay, all right, you've passed the test on that one, Ed.
Just to name a few.
Yeah, exactly. Starting with Motown's always good, always impressive. Do you have a favourite film?
I always say Shawshank Redemption.
As
one of my favourites.
Classic.
I don't know how many times I watched that film, but probably 5 or 6 times over the years, and not too many times, obviously.
No,
but it's enough. And then Pulp Fiction, by the same director, Django Unchained.
Yep. Yep, Quentin Tarantino, another classic.
Absolute legend of a director, yeah. So I really like that movie. Again, one that I've probably seen maybe 6 or 7 times. I think it keeps, it's on a rerun somewhere and I'm watching it. I just like the pace of that movie.
I was going to say, it's the pace, isn't it, that gets you, and the imagery. Yeah. It just haunts you, doesn't it? It's perfect.
It is a brilliant movie.
Yeah. Preferred drink?
Does soup count?
Soup does count.
It does count.
Yeah, exactly. That's a wacky outfield count. We've not had soup, so I like this, Ed. I like it a lot.
All right, well, I've got a real sort of love of Heinz tomato soup, the most basic of tomato soups.
That's classic.
I like pineapple juice, big on pineapple juice.
Okay.
When it's hot, nice glass of pineapple juice and ice.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, I am a Westerner, and therefore I love my beers, and pale ale is usually my go-to.
Do you, and not everybody does, have a life motto?
Obviously music related for me. Yeah. Big part of my life, music being a big part of my life. Music is a language spoken by all. Read the same music, we all listen to the same music, we all appreciate the same music. Right. Doesn't matter what, dialect we all speak. It's a language that is transcends, and traverses, multicultural, around the world. It's united language that we all have. So that is sort of something I guess I believe in, and it, one of the reasons I love music so much is that, and having moved to Asia, or also worked in other countries as well. You learn that it's something that everyone can appreciate. Yeah, I was very fond on sort of jazz and jazz fusion music when I was learning saxophone. So Herbie Hancock. Oh yeah. One of my all-time favourites from the sort of the fusion, jazz fusion era. He said, music is the tool to express life and all that makes a difference. Okay, I get it. Which is, I think, is a wonderful quote that really kind of sums up what music's about, and a way for us to share thoughts and ideas and expressions.
Favourite Hong Kong walk? Do you do much walking?
I do. I don't do enough. So I really like Tiger's Head. So the walk from... So I live in Pat Nang Hung in Mui Wo, and that walk is sort of past the silver mine, and then up we go, and it has a beautiful view. It's a real reward when you get up the top there. But it's not too difficult of a walk. It's kind of that nice balance of, I could spend 3 hours or whatever it is to do that walk, and I'm not too tired at the end of it. I can go and take my dog there as well. We've done a few walks with our dog, which is it's a lovely walk.
Favourite Hong Kong restaurant?
There's a restaurant that I have to go back to every sort of 6 months when I remember to go there. Not many people I know of this place, I think, unless you've worked in the area. It's in Kowloon City. A difficult sort of pinpoint. The road is, I think, Hua Wong Road, which is kind of
Hua Wong Road.
Hua Wong Road. It's next to Lion Rock Road. So this restaurant, the reason I'm telling you the location is, if you find it, you will love it. If you're big on char siu and scrambled egg, I love that restaurant. The reason is they just do things simply, and the menu is very small, and they specialise on the egg. So the egg is just to die for. It's full of butter. It's really indulgent. And then they get the best char siu. I don't know whether they make it themselves, but whatever. But it's that kind of caramelised, little burnt bits on it.
What was the best advice you were ever given?
My music teacher at secondary school was like genuinely a real inspiration when I was growing up. So I started to learn saxophone while I was at secondary school, and was playing in the big band for the school, and also joined my local town's big band as well. I was playing piano actually with that band, which was all the old timers, which was really great fun. So playing a lot of swing jazz and big band, and so my secondary school teacher, he was always pushing the individuals that he sort of felt they've got potential and that, and I do feel like he sort of saw that in me, which was a big help. So yeah, basically keep doing what you're doing kind of thing. I wouldn't be in Hong Kong had I not sort of doubled down on music. This is what brought me here, and I've got a lot to say about Hong Kong, to be honest, and I think it's it's definitely the best decision of my life.
So how would you finish a sentence? I live in Hong Kong because...
Well, I came here to play music. So I naturally turned up here on the doorstep, and fell in love with the hustle and bustle, and the culture, and after having it is absolutely, and a long story short, was told that Mui Wo was a great place to move to, and that I mean, it really was for me. Like, I came off the ferry, saw the bikes. And it was one of those beautiful, perfect, sort of picturesque days. And hadn't even met up with the estate agent at that point. I was like, I have to move here. So
it's a little bit of paradise.
Exactly. And that all really bolstered my love of Hong Kong, and I knew I wanted to stay here and try to work here. So
what year was that?
That was 2011, and I moved to Mui Wo early 2012.
Do you have a favourite area of Hong Kong?
Definitely. Would have to say Lantau Island, Mui Wo, probably my favourite spots by far. Kowloon City is a place I've worked in for probably 5 years, I think, while I've been in Hong Kong. About 5 years, and just I like the balance of kind of the very Kowloon style, but at the same time it's not too busy there, but it feels old, and the park's beautiful as well.
There's a connection to the past still, isn't there?
Exactly. Nice. Really interesting walking around that, or going to have your lunch in the park. And
you're from the UK, I understand, went to music school and studied. Do you want to just take us through that a little bit?
So I started music at the age of 5. My older brother was playing piano while I was growing up. My mum had actually given up playing piano when she was pregnant with me, so I don't know, I must have taken on her musical
vibes of
but my brother, he didn't actually play for much longer after I started learning the piano. I think with a lot of peer pressure from school for him, but it was this jazz song that he was playing. I remember it was a Green Book, and this particular tune. And honestly, this is 5 years old me. I can remember, bits of this song. I really loved it, and my mum and dad had me study with the same teacher. So she was great. So we did a real mixture of classical music, as you do when you learn your grades, and then she was doing jazz and a bit of pop music as well, and the boogie woogies and all that. So it was great. And then went to secondary school, and so I'm from Kent, in the southeast.
Whereabouts in Kent?
Tunbridge Wells. So the schools, the school I went to was very strong on music. Then went off to study the University of Hull. So
other end of the country.
Other end of the country.
So it was a music degree.
Yes.
A degree in music.
So once I'd graduated from the University of Hull, I had a lot of friends in music and who studied alongside me. A friend of mine, Kevin, gave me a call one day. I was still studying, just about at that point actually. I was doing my postgraduate then. And he said, well, I've just heard about this opportunity to work in China. Are you interested? I said, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Put my name down. We went for this audition and we got in, and a couple of weeks later we were flown out to Shenzhen. Worked there for 5 months, and then we had the next contracts. We were in the Middle East. And then while we were there in Bahrain, we had another phone call from the agent to say, would you like to come to Hong Kong? And I'd been to Hong Kong while I was in Shenzhen, just for a day trip. While we had time off from work, and absolutely loved it. One of the bands from the same agency was working at the Hard Rock Cafe, so we had gone to the Hard Rock Cafe, which was the venue we played at when we worked here.
That was when it was in Lan Kwai Fong.
That was
not Kowloon site.
No, it was the Lan Kwai Fong site. So we went to see that band while we visited Hong Kong, and then later on got this call, we're going to go and work at the Hard Rock Cafe. So we left Middle East, came over here in November of 2011. Okay. And that was 5 months contract, right over Christmas, right over New Year. Right. Some really big nights in Lantau, which you don't really see it like that anymore.
So what you would at the Hard Rock, were you like a residency band or?
That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So the band was we were a band from the UK, so we had singers from Scotland, we had guitarists from Gateshead, Newcastle, myself from the south,
brilliant,
another friend from Redcar. Bunch of different talents came together to put the band in, and
like a boy band type of
almost,
thing.
Yeah, exactly. But we, that band, when we were working in the Middle East, it was, can you do more of the R&B music and more soul and the disco-y kind of funky stuff? So that was really how we outfitted and kitted the band out with the set list. And then Hard Rock obviously wanted rock music, so we were playing actually a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers and AC/DC. I remember doing Guns N' Roses. We learned how to play the Guns N' Roses Sweet Child of Mine solo with our instruments on our backs.
Wow.
So I had the keytar, right?
That's good going. That's quite
that was real
busy
fun.
Intro and stuff, isn't it?
So the whole band would turn around, but really like show offy.
Very
cool. But it was good fun. I used to love that band, and that venue was great. They had an awesome sound system, and they really appreciated the music. Back then, so we were really a highlight for that venue to have
fantastic. What a great intro into Hong Kong. After that, then the contract runs out. What do you do then? You decide you want to stay here, I guess, by that time?
That's right, yeah. So it was the last 3 weeks. Last 3 weeks of the contract. Thought, I don't think I want to leave Hong Kong and continue with the band.
Bites you.
Yes, it'd been quite a while. I was sort of on the road with the band, and amongst sort of the bad habits of working late nights. It's a lot of partying and hanging out with guests and that. As you can imagine, it was probably time for me at that point to move on. So it really was for me a calling to say, well, let's stay here, see what it's all about, actually living here. And I had 3 weeks to get myself a job, and I found a job teaching music over near Taikoo.
Okay.
And then I was teaching also privately saxophone as well. I had a couple of students in around that area as well.
Yeah.
And so got the contracts, the work, and got the visas, and then find a place to live. And I was searching everywhere except kind of the sensible places that are a little bit cheaper, if you know what I mean. I had a really tight budget, and it was my the sound engineer at the Hard Rock that said, "Why don't you try Moi Wo? Try Sai Kung." I never went to Sai Kung. That was in the afternoon, and
didn't get there.
Moi Wo was in the morning, and I just loved this place so much. I said, "I'm moving here." Didn't matter what the house looked like. But
just get here.
So that was really the move for me was that, and obviously there was a phone call to mum and dad, and I'm going to stay in Hong Kong. How's that sound? And they were like, go for it,
So they were supportive.
Really
that's
supportive,
good.
Always have been.
Yeah, okay, so that helps a lot. And so when you came to move to Moi Wo, when would that have been, sort of
That was 2012.
2012 when you actually moved here, and so you settled in here. You carried on teaching, private tuition as well as a bit of Taikoo Shing area.
Yes, that area. Moved between a few different companies. Then I set up an ECA program with a few schools in the New Territories. So I was also teaching drama, putting on sort of theatre productions with schools, and I still do that now.
Yeah. So
that was pre-COVID. I set that company up, and we're still going.
Yeah.
Which is great. Good. So that's a really awesome project that I've put a lot of work into, and real fulfilling stuff.
Yes.
Putting on shows with kids.
Yeah.
So I do that, but during COVID, I also had to sort of find other means of income. It was quite difficult, all the schools closing and that. So I used to do a lot of graphic design and web development with different companies I've worked for over the years in Hong Kong. So I just started going back into that as a freelancer, doing some web development for small companies, and then got to work in as a front-end software developer for a software company. And then from that, now working in a creative agency and still doing web development, but running a small team. And
nice.
So I get that real balance of sort of tech and development, and learning. I love learning. Not like languages, like different.
Yeah, programming languages.
Yeah, that's
that's where I started.
Yes,
many years.
I'm just a lot better at learning, development languages than actual
than actual spoken word.
Spoken word, yes. That's what I meant.
I hear you on that.
My Cantonese isn't too bad, but it's definitely better than anything else I've tried to learn.
Tonal language, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so then let's go back 12 months to this time last year. We had a guy called Jake Johnson who ran Southside and had decided to leave these shores to bring his family up back in the US, but wanted to go on a big high, on a big bang, and something he talked about with me as well for many months, about having a festival on Lantau, a live festival.
That's right, yeah.
Just tell us about that, perhaps.
Sure. So, Jake had sort of housed the live music at Southside, and previous to that, we had played a lot in Poyo at the Tap Tap bar. So I knew him really well, just jamming nights with Jake on guitar, and I'll bring my keyboard or my saxophone. And so, he had mentioned that he wanted to do this event, and I just said, well, let me know what needs to get done, and we sort of went into it together. And last year was a success that I don't think either of us knew, was really going to be like that. Yeah, out of nowhere. So the support of our community, we probably had 300 to 400 people that day.
Easily,
which was maybe more.
Yeah.
It was cracking, a really cool day. So Jake wanted to put that on, and having sort of found the venue with Treasure Island. We put it together in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks, wasn't it? It was unbelievable.
Really tight.
So for those that don't know what Lantau Live was last year, it was basically a day-long music festival held in a field just behind Treasure Island in Poyo, which they previously and still do have the Sunday markets there. What was put together by Jake and Ed was I think 8-band schedule with some DJing in the between that Vibe did, with food, and it was a very gloriously hot day, actually. I seem to remember, wasn't it? And no shelter for any of us.
That was right, cracking day. I mean, it really was like the perfect weather for that kind of event. A lot of people sipping their beers all day, trying to keep cool.
Families.
Yes. It was exactly. It was a very family orientated day as well. We, Jake really knew that was the thing to do, is to make sure that it's really part of the Lantau community vibe, opposed to more of a clubby heavier event. So that's exactly what we're trying to continue with the family approach to music and the festivals. So the event last year, we had some activities for the kids. We had a bouncy castle there. We had lawn games as well. And, I remember seeing a football being kicked around.
They actually used the DJ tent as a thing to
did they?
pass the ball off.
Yes.
And I was like, don't do that.
Goalposts.
Goalposts. We became the goalposts.
Oh no!
But it was a fantastically, as you say, just came from nowhere in 2 weeks. Everybody gravitated to it on the day. Not a lot of time to do, any sort of advertising, any of the official type of stuff. So, but it kind of, set a germ in everybody's minds here, I think, on Lantau, that wait a minute, we've wanted one of these festivals of our own for a long time. We know the Picnic in the Park festivals, we know where the Clock and Flap came from. You know, Lantau is a big island, deserves some form of music and arts festival as well, I think.
Being able to sort of bring artists from our community as well as from Hong Kong in the city, bringing artists over to play here. This year, everything's bigger and better. And,
yes.
Obviously, you learn a lot when you do these things.
Yes.
And I'd like to say we looked at all the different areas of the event that we can, bolster and bulk up.
Yeah.
So we got more bands this year.
Yeah.
We got the DJs again this year.
Yes.
I have a surprise act announcement up my sleeve as well that nobody knows about yet.
Nice, everybody needs one of those.
Yeah. So that will be announced soon.
Clock and Flap style.
Yes,
that's nice.
It's coming.
I like it.
So
just to be clear to the people listening, Jake was responsible for the birth of Lantau Life last year. The mantle has now been handed over to Ed Salter, who we're talking to today. Ed is now spending time and effort to really plant bigger foundations, I think, for this festival, and set up a blueprint this year which can be repeated, and maybe for some other smaller events and things dotted around.
Absolutely, yes. So you're right, Gary. This year is really a proving ground for this event, as well as hopefully other events as well in the future. I'd like to do, when I do things, I like to do things right.
Yeah.
And, we need this event to grow.
Well, these events aren't cheap to put on.
Yes, yeah. So there's a heck of a lot of effort gone into this year so far. And we've still got, 2 weeks left of probably ramping that up. Yeah. It's a scary venture, if I'm honest, because, these things can lose money, or they could just about break even, and everyone hopes that it's a profitable venture. For me, I'm doing it genuinely for the love of music, and trying to fill a void in Lantau where we just don't have these kind of events going on as much as people want and need, and I need it as well. I think that's a part of me saying, like, this is something that I've wanted to do for years, having come from performing background, and for me, I see music as such an integral part of life, and this I can see the support from the community as we grow this, and keep the event, keep it cheap for people to come. I don't want it to be an expensive day out. I want it to be affordable, but I want the day to be quite an exhibition of music. So we're really stretching the genres this year. We've got folk music and blues, we've got rock music, we've got a bit of electro there, and maybe some rap as well coming, but no one knows about that yet.
Okay. That's a taster now he's giving us. So let's name the bands then that are playing this year. Who have we got?
Returning from last year, we have Jake's band, Broken Head. So Jake from Southside, he's coming with his Broken Head. So that's sort of grungy 90s rock kind of music, which is great. I really love his set.
Yeah, me too.
We've got Rockstars Anonymous, which is my rock band, sort of tribute to the 80s rock. We put don the wigs.
Yeah, that's it.
Skinny jeans, and the band is. I mean, I'm really proud of that band, actually. And we worked really hard on it, and it's full of those big sort of anthem rock tunes that everyone loves to sing along to.
So last year, Rockstars Anonymous headlined, I would say, the gig. You finished off the gig. These guys, you're a 6-piece band?
Six piece, that's right. Yep.
And as Ed says, they all don these sort of 1980s Robert Plant wigs and just have got a great repertoire of every classic rock song you could ever imagine, and they absolutely nailed it last year. We had a great light show from Jeremy, and while that played and these guys rocked out, nobody wanted to go home, and I think you guys we kept you on for about another hour than you
I think so.
planned to, didn't we?
Yeah,
so once again, you guys are going to be up there.
We'll be back, yes. Yeah. And then we've got we've got some new bands in this year. So we have John from the Wunch, his band Champagne Buddha.
Yes.
Coming along.
Yeah. Co-owner of the Wunch.
That's right. Yeah. We have Black Lodge Cabaret.
Okay.
Who the bass player from that band is from the Red Stripes, so I know him from that, and this is sort of rockabilly band he's doing. Really
that's
cool.
Paul.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've got Black Lodge Cabaret. We have the Sirens. Yeah, really, really looking forward to that. And I think
talented women.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just like flawless harmonies. Just a great concept of music and how they write their own songs. They also do really interesting covers of songs as well.
Yes.
So looking forward to them. So they'll have their sort of folk vibe.
Yeah.
We also have Mad Dog and the Stray Cats, which is Rob's band from I think is it Rob in Poyo?
Poyo, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So Rob's a great pianist, awesome like blues singer as well.
Yeah.
And he's toured Lantau for quite some time now.
Tapped up and everywhere.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I know he's been playing a lot more in town recently at the Wunch, and I really think it's going to be great to have him as a part of this event this year. I don't think he could make it last year, so
no, he couldn't.
This year is. We've got the VVs. So
right.
VVs, the VVs are from Lantau Island as well, just like the Sirens.
Yeah.
And that is David Wilkinson, he's the guy who runs the Llama Fun Day event.
Yes, that's right. So they have their own festival every year, music festival. Come on, I think you've had a couple of good mentors there, haven't you? Really, you've had David from Llama,
yes,
and you've had Mike from Clockenflap, no less, to support you, which is great, and that's kind of what embodies Hong Kong. Actually, the fact that everybody's connected in some way and everybody's prepared in an open mind to help each other out. Okay, so invaluable support really you're getting there.
Exactly.
A great lineup, I think. And as you say, you've got this surprise rapper now, I'm going to say.
Yep. A duo.
So we've got 2 weeks to go. What have we got left to panic about?
What have we got left to panic about? Well, certainly the day before is going to be the day everything comes together and in the venue.
Get everything there.
We've got everything from tech and music equipment to setting up the food and beverage areas and all the activities and those kind of that kind of equipment that needs to be brought into the venue. We will have a huge lighting truss system this year, which is really just upping the game with the quality of the event and the music production. And then obviously we'll be decorating and all that on the day before. But on the last 2 weeks, I think for me the main thing is I'm doing a lot of social media, so that takes a lot of effort to kind of keep talking about the event. And we've got an interesting social media schedule of we're going to be talking about the vendors, we'll be talking about the bands, and the venue itself. Because there's a lot to say about that. It's such a beautiful spot to do a show.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, people should understand that coming to this venue, it's in a field, but in front of that field is the well-known Treasure Island, and that is on one of the biggest bays on Lantau, a great big long lovely U-shaped beach where you can chill out, and I understand that Treasure Island are going to be doing a lot of the catering.
Correct.
And so it is an absolutely beautiful setting. You're surrounded by Lantau's beauty, mountains and greenery. So that's all going to come together in 2 weeks' time. Where are people going to go to buy tickets for this great event?
So the tickets we have available at ticketflap.com.
Ticketflap.com.
So you can either type Ticketflap into Google or go to ticketflap.com/Lantau Live 2024. So that's how you go to our direct page on there. So we have a few different ticket options. Obviously we've got adults and we've got the concession tickets for children, and then we have a family combo ticket as well. We will do a ticket giveaway as well soon on social media, so keep an eye out for that. And we have some merchandise.
So you've got to have merchandise.
You've got to have merchandise. Yeah,
got it.
So last year we had a T-shirt.
Yeah.
This year and a hat. This year we've got a bucket hat, which is tie-dye, which is awesome. Really looking forward to it.
Great idea.
I'll be donning one of those on the day.
I will if you let me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll have our T-shirt. So I'll be doing a competition on the day for that as well. So I think kind of, doing these things is nice to have that engagement with everyone during the day, and we want everyone to be taking photos of our event and
getting them out on social media.
Get it out, exactly.
In the first place, coming to support, you've got a website which is
so the website is lantaulive.com.
Yeah.
So the website has details on the band, the lineup, and the activities and sort of F&B that we have on the day. Details on how to get to the venue.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you're not a Lantau local, we have the bus routes and that on there as well. And we'll be posting our site map and everything else on that. So that's a good place to go if you want to find out more information on the event.
Yeah.
Obviously we have our Facebook and Instagram channels as well. So
Lantau Live
on Facebook, and on Instagram, exactly. And then coming up to the event, we'll be posting about what's coming up, and then after the event, it's also going to be a place for us to share all those memories of the day itself. And we've got a media team coming who are actually where I work is this Shift Media. So this company have a really, really talented group of videographers who often cover events like Clock and Flap and Sonar, Creamfields, and really big events.
The day is going to start around 11 o'clock, isn't it?
Get
there before 11 if you want to pitch yourself up with a nice position for the day.
Correct, yes. So we kick off about 11, and do try and arrive as early as you can. We are doing ticket pre-sale at the moment. If you buy your tickets before the day, then you're not going to be queuing up to buy tickets on the day itself. So
we need to get those pre-sales up, don't we? We need people out there really committing this week. If you can, guys, when you hear this podcast go out later in the week, please commit and please support Ed and Lantau Live and help make this Hong Kong event a big success.
That's right, exactly. So the event really this year, like I said, it's our sort of proving ground on the concept of the event, and we need the support from everyone in our community. If you're big on music, come along, bring the family, bring your friends. The day will be one to remember and one that you'll look forward to, hopefully on a yearly basis. That's the idea. And I kind of want this event to be something that really belongs to the community in a way. So we get feedback from the likes of yourself as Gary, and people that come with the bands, and the people that come on the day from the community that can give us the feedback that really models and shapes the event to what the community want.
I think rightly you're involving Vibe, Book and Music Shop. We're involved heavily for the DJing. Southside is where the inception started 1 year ago. We've got Leader Key supplying drinks and things, and a lot of the local businesses in Moi Wo as well as Poyo are going to be representative, as well as musicians and artists from this island as well. Just as Lama has its and Hong Kong has its Clock and Flap. So I think thank you, Ed, for bringing this to us this year.
Yes, I mean it wouldn't have been we wouldn't have Lantau Live this year if it wasn't for Jake last year. And his ideas, but certainly this year and hopefully this year onwards, I'm taking this idea. People want this. I want this to happen every year, and my goal is really to see it go through milestones and grow and that it might not always be a one-day event, or it might not always be in one location. This is this is it. You know, I want to see it growing.
Yeah,
I want to see it becoming.
Yeah.
You know, something that we get a lot of people travelling around Hong Kong too. And it gets on the map. You know? I think that's important.
Lantau's Woodstock.
That's it. Exactly.
That's where we want to be. We want to be a weekend festival, and well, clock and flap is you know, the thing we aspire to. I think on
that's
Lantau.
correct. Yeah.
So, okay. Well, that just remains for me to say, Ed Salter, thank you very much for coming to talk to us today.
My pleasure, Gary. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for taking up the mantle of Lantau Live, and you have our 100% support from here on in, mate.
Cracking. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the day. I'm looking forward to having hosting the DJs again this year.
Yeah.
I mean, later on in the evening we'll have a sort of a big spot in the schedule where the DJs will really send it. I think. And if you want to get involved, I'm always looking for help. I'm always looking for ideas, looking for volunteers. The date is going to be manic. It's on Sunday the 24th of November.
Yeah.
We kick off around 11, and you can come early in that and secure your spot. We'll be running the day until about 9 o'clock.
Okay, so come and support us. Cheers, Ed.
Cheers, Gary.
You can listen to all our VIBErations podcasts published on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Amazon Music, TuneIn and Alexa. Or you can watch on our YouTube channel under Live at VIBEHK. Or follow the links from my website at vibehk.com. The opening and closing music comes from Celestial and is called Green Island Dub, and is on the Retrospect vinyl album, on sale at Vibe. Finally, a reminder that Vibe is open 7 days a week, every day of the year, from 12 noon until around 6:30 p.m. Thanks for listening to the 52nd Vibe Book and Music Shop podcast called VIBErations. I'm Gary Brightman. You get my vibe?
Can you imagine what this old island must have looked like to those Dutch sailors when they first saw it? Fresh green, like a dream of a new world.
They must have held their breath, afraid it would disappear before they could touch it.